Welcome everyone to day 53 of my 100-day project. I'm working in acrylic, and today was a great example of you never know where inspiration is going to come from. It's really warm up here in my studio today, so I went to open up a window, and right below there I had stacked just a bunch of stuff from some of my workshops. And I saw this piece of deli paper, which is just sort of that waxy paper that they wrap sandwiches in. I use this with my gel printing workshops to clean off my brayer. And I usually save them because they're great for collage. And I looked down and I saw this piece that had these really cool marks on it. And I thought, I'm going to do a little collage today. and so that's what I did. So this is just a piece of deli paper that has acrylic paint on it from a printing session in one of my workshops. And I'm using golden gel medium to apply it. And the thing about deli paper is it's very thin and it will wrinkle, but I love it and I love the texture. And when I looked at it, I saw this animal, and I went back and forth and changed it in different orientations. And well, it could sort of be a person this way and could sort of be a person that way, but I just kept coming back to this animal, and it kind of looked like a rabbit kind of, or maybe a bear, or just something sort of tribal. And I was like, it's a figure, it's a critter, I'm going for it. So that's what I did. And I just kept it super, super simple shapes. I'm using the Azo Yellow medium from Nova Color, and I brought out quinacridone red. It's not the same red that's in the gel print. I have no idea what red that is. It's probably a Liquitex Basics color. That's what I usually use in my gel printing workshops. And the blue that I'm using is the ultramarine blue. So the colors aren't exactly the same, but I'm going to glaze over a lot of this anyway. And that's going to help harmonize it and make those other colors pop. I'm using some titanium white by American Journey. And I saw a little part there where I think my finger got stuck to it and it pulled some of it off, or it could have just maybe not been there at the beginning. So I'm just adding a little bit more to cover up that white spot. And then I'm just going to go in. I've mixed up a little bit of that ultramarine blue with some red. And believe it or not, that color actually has a little bit of yellow in it too, to tone it down a little bit. And that's my shadow color. So I'm going in and adding some shape to this critter. And I don't know, y'all, what do you think it looks like? Is it a buffalo? Is it a bear? Is it a dog? The ears are kind of dog-like maybe, but like the legs are kind of buffalo-like. I don't know. It's one of these creatures that lives in my imaginary world, and I'll just leave it at that. So I kept it super simple. I saw a nose, I saw an eye, and that was it. So I'm just adding some shadows here to kind of give it a little bit of form. And as I was doing that, I thought, okay, I'm going to punch a hole through that shape right there and make it standing instead of sitting. And so I went ahead and did that. And one of the things I really liked was that as I was doing this, if you notice in the underbelly of this critter, the color's kind of bleeding into the background a little bit because my brush was wet and I didn't wait for that shadow color to dry. And because there's so much texture, it kind of runs into the crevices, and I just love that. If you really enjoy abstract work, using deli paper for collage is fantastic because it just gives you so much texture. And then if you use really thin liquidy paint, it just sort of flows in there, and it's fabulous. I love it. So at this point, I decided I need more contrast to my critter. So I'm going in with some very, very pale yellowish white. And as I'm doing this, I'm really kind of looking for values. And what I notice is that the biggest contrast is underneath his belly, where there's most of that shadow and it's really, really light in the background. And I don't want that to be the focal point. So I end up mixing up kind of this neutrally pinkish color, which is the quinacridone red mixed with that white. And I end up going in and making some kind of mountain shapes in the back. And I wanted to use a little bit of yellow to try and bring some light onto those tree shapes, but it was too vibrant. And I wanted to darken the top part of the sky to give it a little bit more depth. And I wanted that to be yellow to kind of contrast against the blue. So I've got that, and now this is where I go in and I'm like, okay, there's too much white in that underbelly area. It's too much of a focal point, and I really want the focal point to be closer to his face. So you'll see me test out that pink color a little bit, and I'm like, well, maybe if I put like some little islandy sort of shapes, if that's water back there. I kind of made that neutrally bluey green color for water, and then I was like, nope, still not enough. So let me just go in and add some mountain type shapes. And what you'll notice is, look, as I add that pink color in, look where your eye goes now. It goes straight to that space between his face and that tree, because now that's where there's the biggest contrast around his nose and that shadow. So that was my sole reason for putting that color in, and it gives a little bit of depth into the situation, and maybe that's part of the story. He's in the mountains and there's some water. Who knows? I don't know. It was fun. I love him, all the texture, that red and that blue, and you don't quite know what he is or who he is or where he is, and I love that because then you get to make up your own story with it. That texture is divine. So this is an example of physical texture you can touch, as opposed to yesterday where we did a lot of visual texture where you couldn't touch it, but it was layered and you can see it. Acrylic paint is amazing and so fun and so forgiving. If you try this technique, let me know what you think, and pop in the comments what you think this creature is. I'd love to hear what you think too. Take care of you. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.